Leonard may be gone, but his death opens the door for Penny's return in the Big Bang Theory spin-off universe. Johnny Galecki's retirement makes it nearly impossible for Leonard to make a comeback post the Big Bang Theory. Penny's return could be the key to reviving the original trio's dynamic in the Big Bang Theory universe. Leonard may be dead, and I am sad about it, but his demise paves the way for Penny's return in the Big Bang Theory spin-off. Despite the decision to end Young Sheldon at the height of its success, Chuck Lorre and Bill Prade's universe will thrive with a new spin-off on the way. Born out of what I believe is Young Sheldon's most unexpected original storyline, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will tackle the couple's arc as newlyweds and parents to baby C's. What's often overlooked, however, is that there's a second The Big Bang Theory spin-off on the way. Before I get to the actual point of this article, I'd like to officially apologize for bringing up the idea that Leonard may be dead. I wrote the first article that cited how the Young Sheldon finale suggested that Leonard could be gone. It became viral and spawned multiple other pieces, but the idea originated from my piece on Screen Rant. To be clear, I want Sheldon's best friend alive. But I couldn't ignore the clues hinting at his demise. If it's any consolation, I'm here again to point out that something good may come out of Leonard's death. Johnny Galecki's retirement makes it almost impossible for Leonard to return in the Big Bang Theory spinoff. After the Big Bang Theory, Galecki pretty much stopped acting. After the Big Bang Theory ended, Galecki stepped away from acting and hasn't returned since. He is currently in an unofficial retirement from Hollywood, opting to focus on his family life. This is why David hasn't returned in The Conners, which is a bummer for me, because it forced the Rosen spin-off to ruin the character. This is the reason why it's almost impossible for him to reprise his role as Leonard in the Big Bang Theory universe in any capacity. Considering their characters' connection, I'm convinced it makes it difficult for Kaley Cuoco's Penny to be involved without him. Once again, I don't want Leonard dead. But, considering the circumstances, especially after Young Sheldon created so many plot holes during its 7-year run, Lorre and his team must be more careful with the way they handle the Big Bang Theory canon moving forward. George and Mandy's first marriage doesn't have as big of a problem because not much was revealed about their relationship in the nerd-centric sitcom. However, the next The Big Bang Theory spin-off will likely be heavily connected to the Los Angeles-based comedy, which requires a more careful approach. Leonard's death clears Penny's The Big Bang Theory spin-off return path. Kaley Cuoco can return as Penny without raising too many questions. The Big Bang Theory did lay out the foundation for Leonard possibly dying young. I remember so many episodes and funny bits in the sitcom centered around his allergies and bouts with asthma, among others. As sad as I am to think about the Pasadena gang losing a member, this may be the easiest way to bring Penny back to the Big Bang Theory universe. For starters, Lorre can recruit Cuoco, who is still very active in the business, to reprise her famous role for the upcoming spin-off without having to deal with questions about Leonard's absence. Before Sheldon took over the Big Bang Theory and became its focal point, Penny and Leonard shared the spotlight with him. Considering Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, which is technically more of a Young Sheldon sequel spin-off, I believe that the second The Big Bang Theory offshoot will be something more directly tied to the nerd-centric sitcom. Before Sheldon took over the Big Bang Theory and became its focal point, Penny and Leonard shared the spotlight with him. With Parsons more likely done recently ending Sheldon's 17-year stint on TV and Galecki inactive, Penny's appearance may be the only major way to lean on the show's original trio. Anything less than that may not feel as exciting. Why Leonard being dead is better than any other kind of explanation for his absence. Leonard's death can preserve his and Penny's love story. It's no secret that Penny and Leonard's final years in the Big Bang Theory were lackluster. Personally, I believe that after they got married, the show ran out of ideas for them. Instead of being its main love line and primary protagonists, they were relegated to being a support system for Sheldon and Amy's story. This persisted for years until season 12 manufactured their pregnancy debacle that seemingly came out of nowhere. Luckily for me, the Young Sheldon finale's Penny reference was enough to convince me that she eventually came around to being a mother. Admittedly, the Big Bang Theory spinoff can find other ways to explain Leonard's absence. He may have moved out of the country for work, or he and Penny may have split up. However, I fear that these are actually sadder ways to go about it, considering the couple's controversial ending in the Big Bang Theory. Leonard was the one who wanted children, but both of these options would suggest that Penny was left to raise the kid by herself for the most part. Even if they co-parent, the majority of the burden would likely be on Penny as their son/daughter's mother. Granted that their child may be a bit older at the time of the upcoming spin-off, but he/she would still need guidance, especially as he/she navigates the tricky teenage years. If Leonard is dead in the Big Bang Theory universe, then it means that his absence wasn't his decision. He and Penny remained in love until the very end, but he was just forced to leave her. Somehow, the trajectory is similar to Sheldon's parents after George died in Young Sheldon season 7. Leonard's death would explain Sheldon not mentioning his best friend in Young Sheldon. Adult Sheldon never mentioned Leonard in the Big Bang Theory prequel. I watched every episode of Young Sheldon, others multiple times and throughout its run, and not once did Jim Parsons' narration mention Leonard. That's so odd, considering that he even recruited Howard to take part in it when he told the true story of why he hates engineering. In the Young Sheldon finale, it was officially confirmed that Sheldon had been working on his memoir all along, which again raised questions about the lack of any kind of reference to his best friend. Assuming that Leonard is really gone, then that would explain why Sheldon hadn't talked about him in his autobiography. Assuming that Leonard is really gone, then that would explain why Sheldon hadn't talked about him in his autobiography. Despite his intellect, the socially inept genius struggles to process big and difficult emotions. As seen in the funeral of George in the Young Sheldon finale, and the death of Professor Proton in the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon may have blocked the pain of losing his best friend to cope. That way, he didn't have to deal with it.